The other day, I got up to read a poem from my high school at this special event called Let's Sit Around, Be Cool, Drink Tea, and Read Poetry. The poem was an airhead piece on melted butter eyes, angels on a high, how cute we were together. And this is where things got particularly sticky. You see, the poem talked implicitly about sexual intercourse. Afterwards, I'm pulled aside by the police academia and told I can't say S-word like that on stage. They tell me that a poem like that is not appropriate. And what I wrote when I got home was, this is public education. Which means that one of the kids you're teaching has been through some foo bar S-word. S-word would make your blood curdle. You talk to me about censorship, and the major problem I have with it is that you think these kids can't handle it. But somebody in your classroom is living with looking backwards every time they hear a door close or flinching whenever somebody comes down the stairs. By the time they graduate, 50% of the kids around you will have smoked the lid. The last study they did in 97, 21,000 Canadian girls had gotten pregnant that year, and more than half of them had an abortion. So I don't know how far right we could say that it's inappropriate for a 15-year-old boy to hear a poem about love, but 3 years later it's all right to send him with an ATV into a landmine in the Middle East. Thank you. I'm pretty happy. Folks have sex. Unless you're a new wave and you were born in Nevada phospholipids without your parents getting together for a romantic evening, you wouldn't be here listening to all my bull S-word. And wouldn't that be such a drag? You'd be stuck in some endless abyss where only angels say things like, what a gosh darn silly Billy, for all infinity. And you just want to grab one of them by the collar and say, shut the front door. Why is it that teachers can quote Romeo and Juliet and tell us to understand it, but when we get up in a public environment to talk about the same motifs, we get shut down? And why is it okay in sex ed for a teacher to tell us to use a condom, but it's not okay for a guy to talk about the time he did? The only thing bad about sex is bad sex. And the only thing worse is an excrement, and the only BS is that we become so disconnected. It's an ugly thing to say, but the truth is we live in a sea of confusion surrounded by ball gags and handcuffs. Diet magazines are writing about 10 great tricks so your boyfriend won't leave you. Where love is consumed by consumer culture and ripped limb from limb dissolved into a free market all about sex. By the time you boys are 18 on average, you'll have watched 400 hours of pornography. You'll have seen more women naked than you've met in person. And we're not fighting back from objectification, kinky strangulation, fornication. There's more rape than there are roses, more munches, longs, and love songs. And if we write about it, maybe we can hold on to a little emotion. Because I think kids have respect for ideology, religion, politics, and sexual preferences. And I think it's that respect that makes some of us want to get up here and say whatever it is you don't want us to say. It's because kids still have some passion in them before we can stick down to them like the concentrate from a juice box with a bell go here. Sit, stand, oh Canada, take us, Why are we quoting arbitrary acronyms without rhythm? Why are we speaking without meter, telling students they better learn how to swim and then just teaching them how to hold their breath? But right now as I read this, the Charter and Rights and Freedoms is too expensive. I'm not being realistic. Right now as we sit in this old and worn out theater, we pretend to be cool and we read our poetry, we've sold our souls to efficiency. Right now, I've got a few choice words I want to shout out to all the faceless suits and ties that are chaining me down. Right now, but I'll just settle for... But you know what? If you do what you gotta do to be who we are, and we don't act like chimpanzees jumping for the hoops for the grades and the money, then someday we'll hear what we say. Someday we'll be able to speak. Someday we'll be able to say something besides beep, beep.